So let's continue our introduction to polygon modeling with something a little bit more advanced. Let's create a sword and a shield. So as usual, I'll start with a little polygon cube and I'm gonna press T. So I get the initial settings during the creation of the cube. And in this case, I wanna have two subdivisions here, and two subdivisions here. So let's go back to the modeling toolkit, and before I start modeling the sword, I'm gonna change something in the settings. I'm gonna go here in Windows, settings and preferences, and I'm gonna go to selection, and I'm gonna change the polygon selection from the default whole face to center. What is the difference? The main difference is this. If we have the whole face, the selection, the whole face, if I'm in the selection tool, I can touch any part of the face and select it, which feels kind of handy. But there's a little problem here. If I'm in the top view here, imagine I want to select only these faces here, but from the top. I could come here and click and drag to get the selection box and try to select. But the problem is this is going to select not just those faces, but it's going to select those faces here too. And I don't want that. I want it to be able to select only these faces here. If I change from center and I save, I get those weird points here in the center of the face, and it means just now to select the face you have to select the point. You don't really need to select like super close. You need to be kind of around the center of the face. So if you're just here, you're not going to be selecting, but here you're going to be selecting. So what is the advantage of this? The main advantage is now that here in the top view, I can select only those faces. So if I click and drag to have the selection box, I just need to avoid the other points, like these points here, because then I would be selecting those faces. I can select only those two here, and I'm going to select only the faces that I wanted. If I do want those, I just have to select those points too. Very handy, gives you way more power during modeling, in my opinion. Frankly, I don't know why they changed from the default. This was actually the way Maya used to work until, I don't know, 2015, I think. That was how Maya was set up when I was learning film school around 10 years ago. But it is not just because I'm nostalgic because of school. It's actually a little bit better for modeling. So okay, we are here in the quad view. I'm gonna check here my top view, and I'm gonna select all the corners, and I'm gonna scale this. Scale, but I'm not gonna do this. If I do this, if I scale everything, I'm not gonna get a flat top here, and that's not what I want. So let's scale, selecting this guy here, the green square, which means I'm gonna be scaling only on the blue and the red axis. So let's do this, and let's scale around here, looking good. So it's gonna be like the center of our sword here. And I'm gonna go here. I can select all the face here in the bottom. Let's extrude, and I'm gonna offset this. Let's press Ctrl so I have more fine-tune control over the tool. So around here. And I'm gonna extrude one more time. I'm gonna get out of extrude. I'm gonna go to the move tool, and This time I'm gonna press Shift to extrude, and I'm gonna create the handle of the sword. So I showed you guys a lot of different ways of using extrude. My rule of thumb is to normally use this extrude here, like clicking the button or using the Shift right click here, or even the Control E, only when I wanna use the offset. If I don't wanna use the offset, if I just wanna extrude and create new geometry, I just use the move tool with Shift. Why is that? There's a practical reason for that, not just because I feel it's more comfortable, it feels better, but the main reason is if you use the Shift and move tool, you avoid the double faces. Because when you click any other extrude, when you click a button, Maya automatically creates a new face, and if you don't move or change the thickness, you're gonna have a double face and you're not gonna be aware of. If you use the extrude with the Shift, it works a little bit different. Like the new face will only be created when you move. So in this way, you will never create a double face that you're not aware of. So keep that in mind. Offset, click the button if you just want to create new geometry, move with the Shift tool. So let's select this ring of faces here, and now I'm gonna extrude. This one is an area where the extrude should not be with the move tool, should be with the button. That's because I have like a whole ring around. So if I just move, I won't be able to move outside of all the directions here. So in this case, I do have to change the extrude and move the thickness here. And I'm gonna be like this. Cool. So let's select those faces here in the bottom, and I'm gonna extrude again. In this case, I wanna press the button of the extrude because in this case, I'm gonna use the offset. So I'm gonna move here, but I'm gonna move the offset. I'm gonna press Control so I have a more fine-tuned control of the tool. Okay, so far so good. We have the handle of the sword. Now we need to create the cross guard. So I'm going to select this, and we want to create this in both directions. So first, let's check the direction I am. That's good. I'm going to create in this direction. So let's turn on symmetry from object X. Now everything that I click in one side is going to be created in the other one. There's some different ways of doing this in Maya. The old way, like when I was learning, we didn't have a good symmetry. You had to actually cut your object in half and do a duplicate special. You can still do that, but symmetry works most of the time, like 95%. Sometimes the symmetry breaks, and then you have to either delete the history and see what is wrong. But most of the time, a symmetry works pretty good in Maya. So you have the symmetry here, and let's extrude it just with the offset. So click extrude, and let's move this. So that looks good. I'm gonna go here in the side view, vertex mode. It's like this, like this. I'm gonna move down a little bit. So now let's select these faces here, and I'm gonna press move tool, the move tool, because now I'm gonna create more geometry but without the offset. Let's move like around here. Now let's go to the vertices mode, because I wanna flat this. I wanna take all the vertices here and put them in the same level, same plane. So the easiest way is to select everything and then scale them down. Now I'm gonna move this up. Go to face mode. The face I want are selected. Move tool again, press shift, but now I'm gonna move down. Like this. Okay, good. Maybe I could rotate this. Something like this. Okay, fine. And final touch in the handle, I'm gonna, let's see what else I could create here. Maybe I could extrude this one more time, but now with the offset. Just so we have a nice chamfer here in the end. And now I'm going to select here the front. And here in the back. Let's extrude this just with the offset. We're gonna create like a gem in this part of the handle. So like this. Oh yeah, I have to turn off the symmetry in this case. So we can let's select again. I'll deselect the center ones and do like this. The reason I could not move with the symmetry is this. When I selected this with the symmetry on, any movement that I was doing here was being repeated here, so I could not scale them at the same time, so I had to turn them on. So let's select the gem faces again. And I'm gonna extrude this. Just a little bit. And offset. Seems good. Actually, that moved this a little bit more because we're gonna flat the vertices here. So select here and scale them. Same thing here. Now we're gonna move this very close to the handle. And here in the top, actually, let's select this too, and I'm gonna scale this. Okay. still don't like what I see in some parts here, so let's select this, 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 and this. I'm gonna move it more like here. Likewise this. Okay, looking better. So let's extrude just one more. With way more offset. Now we just move this a little bit. Do the same here. Okay, so now we have pretty much our handle with the cross sword. Maybe I could put some extra details on the handle here. Maybe I can select this and select this. Then we're gonna just extrude this just with offset. And then I'm gonna extrude again. Just to create some extra detail here. So now let's do the blade. Let's select the top faces here. And we're gonna extrude only with the offset around, I don't know, let's see, around here. And then I'm gonna turn off the symmetry. I'm gonna select them again, so the gizmo, the scale gizmo will be in the center. And I'm gonna scale this down like this. So this is gonna be the blade thickness. I'm gonna turn the symmetry on again. Go to the vertex mode. Gonna move this more like here. Now, having that selected, let's create a blade. So the blade will be like 2.5 the size of the handle, around that. So something like this. And then we can take a look here. So far so good. We need to make the tip of the sword, so I'm gonna use the extrude here, and actually I'm gonna turn off symmetry. This is here off. I'm gonna turn off because I need to use the scale and to be proportional in the middle. So I'm gonna extrude this here and scale this. Extrude one more. Scale like this. Extrude one more. And now to make the little point here, I can just collapse everything. Shift, right click, and we can merge faces to center. Boom. We get a little pointy stuff there. We are gonna go in the side view here and we're gonna correct this here. I'm gonna scale this a little bit. Then this here. So far so good. We have our sword here. Object mode. And let's see, I think it's pretty good, to be honest. I think the cross guard was a little bit too big. I'm just gonna turn on symmetry again and just move this a little bit here and this a little bit here. Okay, now I think it's good. Okay, we have the sword. So let's hide the sword for now, and let's create a shield. So as usual, to create the shield, let's start with the cube, and we are gonna press T so we get the initial setting of the cube. This time I wanna make this bigger. I think 8 by 8. Let's unhide my sword here. Actually, let's put the name sword there, and this one's gonna be shield. So I think that's a good size for the shield. Maybe a little bit in the smaller side. Maybe we could go 9. We could go 9 here. 8.5, I think is good. Okay, 8.5. The depth is gonna be just 1. And let's put more subdivisions here. I think 4 subdivisions are gonna be fine for us. We don't need subdivisions in the depth, only in the width and the height. Now let's go back to the shaded mode with wireframe. Let's hide the sword again, and let's take a look at what we have here. Press T again because I think the depth is a little bit too much. So I'm gonna make this 0.5, maybe 0.6, or no, 0.7, good. Now let's go to the face mode. Let's select the front faces here. One quick way to select is here, to go here in the side view and just select them with a point here. And we're gonna be using the circularize tool again. So I click here, boom, looks pretty good. Let's do the same for those ones here, and boom. Now we have what we need to start our shield here. I'm gonna select this, and the back faces too. And we're gonna move this a little bit, so it's not like totally flat. Usually a shield is not totally flat. And then we're gonna get this here and this point here, and I'm gonna move just a little bit. And I think that's good. Okay, this is gonna be the base of our shield. We're gonna create some extra detail here. So let me select Actually, let's go back to the symmetry. Select all the faces here. And let me turn off the grid for a moment. And let's extrude this with offset. This is kinda good. So far so good. We want to create some straps here, like metal straps connecting this external part of the shield to a centerpiece that I'm gonna create there. Let's move this a little bit here. Gonna go to the edge mode. I'm gonna select those edges here and I'm gonna bevel them. Actually, I'm gonna select the whole loop. So click twice, you get the whole loop. Let's click bevel, and I want a thin connection, so 0.3 is good. I'm gonna do the same here. Bevel fraction is gonna be 0.3. Yeah, 0.3 is good. Okay, so far so good. Now we can go to the face mode. We're gonna select those faces here. And we're gonna extrude with offset again. Something like this. And then we're gonna press circularize. Looks a little bit funky here. Maybe I can change the offset. No, the rate is not working. The twist a little bit. Okay, the twist a little bit better here. But we're still gonna fix this. We can go to the vertex mode and actually turn off the symmetry off. Select this. Let's scale this so they're gonna be aligned. Okay. So now we have this selected. Oh, we create some crazy and necessary faces here. Let's quickly correct this. Let's select those faces here and we're gonna delete them. And actually this is a good moment to show a nice little tool here that you can use to correct this. Is a mesh fill hole. So I have to actually, let's select this and mesh fill hole. Boom. So let's start selecting the faces that we're gonna be extruding here to create the details in our shield here. So I'm gonna select the ring around here, the contour of the shield, and I'm gonna select the center part that would, this part is gonna be like an extruded part with a gem in the middle, and then those faces here, those will be the straps connecting the contour of the shield which are it's gonna be like made of metal with the center part. So we're gonna extrude this once, just moving and shift, and then we get what we want, a little bit like this. Okay, so I moved a little bit here with extrude, but then I realized, you know what, I want a little bit of offset here. But when you use the move and shift, you don't get the offset, right? How can I get the little pop-up back? I can just press T, and this will bring the manipulator, which is the pop-up of any tool that you used. It's gonna show the pop-up of the last tool. So we get the offset again, and we're gonna do very slight offset here, just a little bit. I think that's good. Now I'm gonna unselect the straps here, and I'm gonna extrude one more time, just those faces here. So let's click the extrude here, thickness, and again a little bit offset. Looking good. So let's unselect that ring, and now let's just work with the center part here. This looks quite good. So what I want to create here is like a gem, like I did with the sword. So I'm gonna extrude one more time, just using the offset. Looks good. Then one more time, but this time I'll go back like this, and then one more time, but this time I'll go ahead. It seems I just undid what I did, but no, that's because I'm gonna do the offset here. So we're gonna form like this gem inside the detail here. So actually could be less offset, more like this. And then we'll extrude one more. Then we'll extrude more. Then we have to select this face here and scale this more like this, and can move this. Okay, so far so good. We can go to object mode and just look around here. What do we have? We just need to create the straps to hold the shield. Before I do that, I'm just gonna select those faces here, or like I'm thinking it's a little bit too thick, so let me turn on symmetry again. And actually symmetry is not gonna work very well now because I don't have a cut across the shield, so it's gonna work to a limit. This part, it won't work that well. Okay, I'm just gonna move this more like this. Yeah, much better, I think. And I forgot the little detail. I actually need to make one more extrude here. Let's extrude and offset. This good, actually could be more like this. One more extrude. Yeah, this is like getting in the other faces, so I'm gonna actually have to to accept a little bit more of a thickness in my shield. So I'm gonna select that ring again and just move this a little bit like here. Okay, now we can finally create the straps. So the technique to create the handle is gonna be very similar to what we did for the beer cup. Pretty much the same technique. So we have those vertices here, those 4 vertices here in the back. So let's select this and this. Be sure you're not selecting anything wrong in the front. We're gonna do a bevel. Gonna make this a little bit bigger. Just a little bit. The difference is, even though this is still a very low poly model, I'm trying to give a little bit more detail than what we did before. So I want a little bit more information here to create the handle. For that, I'm gonna subdivide this. I'm gonna click this guy here. And this is gonna subdivide 1. I'm gonna give divisions 1. This is gonna subdivide 1. So I had 1 face, now I have 4 faces in each. So now I can, let's do 1 by 1 here so we don't have any mistake. Let's click circularize. Looking good, but I need to twist this to get the correct position. Should be more like this. I mean, not gonna be perfect. And it's not exactly the same the other side, but that's okay for what we want to do here. And let's do the same here. Again, let's twist this a little bit. And that's good. Good enough. So I select this, and we can turn on symmetry again. I forgot about that. You see, I said sometimes the symmetry get lost. That was the case here because this got really funky in compared to the other ones. I can try to fix a little bit, but I don't know if that's gonna fix a lot. Okay, so let's see if the symmetry got better. Yep, I got my symmetry back. So I have this here, and like we did for the cup, we're gonna go inside view here. We can maybe go to the wireframe instead of the shaded, and we're gonna extrude this. Let's extrude the first one here, and we want to pick these faces here, and we want to scale this so they're gonna be flat in the same plane. So far so good. So before I connect those two parts, let's make one last extrude with a slight offset, so we have a little bit more of detail in our shield here. So okay, let's talk about what we're going to be doing here. Like in the cup, we need to connect this to this. If you remember the cup tutorial, what I did was to select those faces, and then I extruded them, rotated, extruded, rotated, extruded, rotated, until we had faces looking down and faces looking up, and then I clicked the bridge. That's one way of doing it, but that's a more manual and cumbersome way. It is good when you're learning to do the harder way, but now let me show a more efficient way of using the bridge. I can actually connect this part directly to this part, and Maya will create the extra faces and edges I need for me using the bridge tool. So let's just click the bridge, and we're gonna get this mess here. It looks like I broke the model, but don't worry. First we have to change curve type to blend, and we still don't have anything good. The model still looks crap. But look the magic here. If I add one division, boom, I have a handle. It's still not very good, so let's put more divisions. 2, 3, 4, and I think 5 will be perfect. So yes, we have our handle here. So the last thing we need to do is to control like the soften and the hard and soft part of each model here, and that's what we're going to be do next. And let me unhide the sword and just position them side by side. So just like we did with the cup, we are gonna select some edges to be soft, some edges to be hard. So let's turn off the wireframe on shaded, so we can see better what is going on here. So face mode, and I'm gonna click twice in any face, and I'm gonna go to mesh display and soften edge. I'm gonna do the same for the sword. Click twice, so select everything, and mesh display, soften edge. So now let's go back here to the shield, and let's think what we need to make, which parts should be hard. I think this definitely should be hard. This inside part here should be hard. Selected the wrong one, so let's. Okay, now I have the ring there. This part here. The part of the strap connecting to the center should be hard because they're supposed to be like different pieces. Same thing here. And those should be all hard. This needs to be hard too. This contour here. And this part. Okay, so here in the back, this, 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 this. So sometimes the ring selection is not perfect, so you have to kind of manually select everything. And remember, the ring selection shift select one, twice the other on the side, and select the whole ring. So, but sometimes, as you can see, for some reason Maya cannot detect the loop, and then you have to manually select the loop. Okay, I think those are all the faces that we need hard. So we're gonna go here to mesh display, and we're gonna do harden edge. Boom. Now if I select this object mode, now it makes more sense, looks better. And again, it's a very low poly model, a little bit like a PlayStation 2 model, but it's a good way to learn the basics of low poly modeling. Let's do the same of selecting hard edges for the sword. So I want this. Oh, it seems Maya selected a ring by mistake here, so I'm gonna have to undo until I get that away. So yeah, and then I have to reselect here. When you're selecting faces, you have to be careful because sometimes Maya goes a little bit crazy in the selection. Remember, you can always press F to focus on whatever you're working on. Some of those faces are good. Here, like here too. Good. Looks fine here. And then we need the base of the blade, and we need the edge of the blade. And we go here in the back, in the top, and I think that's all we need for our sword. So let's go back to mesh display and harden edge, and again object mode. Then we can see the sword here. I think I forgot to harden the details in this part here, so let's quickly do this. Oh yeah, I forgot the whole front part here, so okay, again, mesh display, harden edge, and we are good to go. Looking good. I still think I missed something here. Yeah, this part here wasn't totally hard. Mesh display, harden edge. Okay. Okay, now we're good. So let's get back the wireframe unshaded and let's jump to texturing this.